And I'm the vet. This documentary, we get a look into this veterinarian's life and as working as a vet in an emergency vet hospital. And it's intense. You see these owners' reaction to losing their pet is heartbreaking. And I used to work in a veterinary ER, particularly um, as a receptionist. And I would never be back there during the surgeries and things like that. I was more so the person had to relay the messages, schedule the euthanations, and it was heavy for me still. But what I remember about the vets I worked with was that, they love what they do, but there was always this air of heaviness when they were working these overnight shifts because it is a lot to deal with. And for me, this gave me a bird's eye view of what they were dealing with in those back rooms that I wasn't privy to. And you just see how it weighs on her. And that really affected me. And you just see the genuine love for helping animals. And it is such a beautiful thing to see because I do think that people who take on that profession, the professions that are solely based in helping someone else, are truly blessed people.
I'm the vet really showed this a very important job and did a good job of showing what it's really like in there and didn't shy away from the tragic and sad parts. And I think that's important in a job like this to show how it works and everything. And so I think it was very well done in exploring this woman's life, career, and all that. And yeah.
Hey, today I'm commenting on the documentary short, I'm the Vet. So I thought it was really, really cool to see just a very unvarnished slice of life into sort of what being a veterinarian entails. I thought it was really impressive, just sort of the level of access and how deep behind the scenes you were able to go into this world that I really didn't know much about prior to watching the doc. Yeah, it was just a lot of stuff I wouldn't really have guessed about the job, and I really thought it was striking when your subject talks about sort of the imposter syndrome that she feels, and doesn't really consider herself to be accomplishing anything, doing what she's doing when her role is very, very important to the people whose lives she touches. My one thing here, I think it's feeling a little unstructured, and I guess at the end of the day, I feel like it doesn't have much of a through line other than being sort of a day in the life. So I might consider leaning into that more and even getting rid of some of the interview talking head stuff and really, really just playing sort of the cinema verite of it all. But really nice work. This was very fascinating. Good job.
I loved the vet. I loved seeing the day-to-day life of an ICU vet, seeing the highs and seeing the lows. I liked that it started off just seeing all these different animals and having their checkups and seeing how familiar she was with them. She knew all their names. Um, I thought that this film balanced moments of levity well with moments of tragedy. So they had all these, fun moments joking around about their different patients, and then immediately we have an emergency and the tone shifts completely. I thought the film did a really great job of highlighting how fast things can change in the ICU and how devastating it can be, and how vets have to take this home with them and have to learn how to deal with such a fast-paced, ever-changing environment. I liked how they showed how these tragedies affect the vet, and see how they're not completely jaded, even though they see things like this every day, and it does affect them as they go home, and seeing how they deal with that at home as well was cool to see. I love the inclusion of the thank you note wall and seeing how appreciated these vets are. And I also loved seeing just the sort of family environment that these vets have with each other, how close that this sort of job brings them. And yeah, and also in the end, I enjoyed seeing those childhood videos and pictures of Dr. Eisenhower with animals when she was younger, and then seeing where she is today as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
This film is called I'm the Vet. This was such a heartwarming US short. We get to meet vet Dr. Lindsay and other staff and animals at Neel Veterinary Hospital. I was moved by the interviews with her describing her dream coming true to become a vet and her showing her admission and credentials. The footage of the high-stress atmosphere of the ICU where she works was also so touching. It's obvious how dedicated they all are to the animals and the families, and how challenging it can be emotionally. The shots of animals were all so adorable. I'm glad to see this noble profession highly noted in this film. I also love her shots with her daughter and her family pet, and the supportive narration of her partner. Great job.
As someone who has once worked at a 24-hour emergency vet hospital, I completely and utterly empathize with this woman and these experiences almost immediately. It brought me right back to where I once was. I know the struggles, and I've witnessed all of these situations on top of my own experiences. Some people are born to be in this world and can handle being in this world, and they do it for the pets. This is a clear visual in the day of in life of an emergency vet, and this way of life for I lived this entire life for an entire year, and watching this made me feel as if I was right back into the clinic. And people have a sort of reaction to their pets because they are family members, and these people do go out of their way to save your family.